Hey you guys, it's Miss Alexander, and today we're going to work on the Second Continental Congress. Hopefully you've taken notes on your Ed puzzle, and you'll be able to help answer these questions. But I'm just going to quick go through these so that you understand what you're doing. We're going to go to our articles. So to find our articles, we're going to go to our classroom. We're going to weekly. Yep, weekly down here. It says American Revolution Important Events. These are our articles. It's in a Google slide. And if we look at our table of contents, the Second Continental Congress is on slide 5. So I'm going to bounce right here to slide 5. And I'm going to quick just read it so I understand what I'm writing about. The Second Continental Congress, the American Revolution Articles, Important Events Edition, Article 2, 1775. After the battles of Lexington and Concord, delegates felt it was important to meet and discuss what they should do. The Second Continental Congress began on May 10, 1775, and included delegates or representatives from all 13 colonies. Some of the delegates were Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock, and Thomas Jefferson. The first order of business was to decide if they wanted to go to war with Britain. After a lot of discussion, the delegates decided it was time to prepare for war. If they were going to prepare for war, they would need an army. At this time, they were separate militias. These were made up of part-time soldiers. They often had other jobs that they worked at full-time and were ready for battle when needed. They were called Minutemen because they were ready at a minute's notice. They were not officially trained soldiers. There would need to be an army of full-time soldiers that would train for war. They decided to name it the Continental Army. Someone would need to be in charge of the army and the training. John Adams suggested that General George Washington would be the best man for the job. He knew that Washington had experience from the French and Indian War, and he would understand soldiers and how to fight in a war. Congress voted and chose Washington to be the commander-in-chief, or leader of all military forces. Washington was not sure that he wanted this responsibility, but agreed to be in charge of the Continental Army. After creating the Continental Army, the Congress needed to decide how they were going to pay the Army and get them supplies. Congress asked each colony to send money and troops so that they could buy uniforms, guns, and supplies. They also created their own paper money called the Continental currency. Up until this point, they were still using British currency. They began printing bills called Continentals, which were used to pay the soldiers. Congress tried one more time to come to a peaceful agreement with Britain by sending the Olive Branch petition to King George III. They had not yet declared independence, and the petition explained their concerns and asked King George to fix them. They sent it directly to the king, hoping he didn't know about how poorly they'd been treated. King George did not accept this petition, believing the colonists were in rebellion. He felt that he could put an end to it with military force. And then this is a picture of George Washington, and we have a picture of the Second Continental Congress voting independence. So I'm going to go back to my Google Docs. It says, using your articles, please answer the following questions. So here we go. Why did the colonists want to meet at the Second Continental Congress? So again, I need to rephrase my question. But let's find out why we needed to meet. After the battle, delegates felt it was important to meet to discuss what they should do next. So here we go. In the first paragraph, the delegates wanted to meet at the Second Continental Congress because they needed to figure out out what to do next. Okay, so again, I started it off using part of my sentence, my question. Right here is part of my question. It's easy to come up with an answer as long as you know how to get your question within there by rephrasing it. Now I'm going to go to question 2. It says, according to the beginning of the second paragraph, what was one of the first decisions that the Congress had to make? So, according to the second paragraph, the first decision Congress made was to, so I'm going to quick go back over here and go to the second paragraph and then read. The first order of business was to decide if they wanted to go to war with Britain. Oh, was to figure out if they wanted to go to war with Britain. So again, I took the first part is from my question. Why did the colonies create an army? Why weren't the militias enough? So, in paragraph 2, the colonies needed to create an army because ... Why did they want an army? The militias were not enough because ... So why weren't they enough? So I'm going to quick jump back over here and figure out why they wanted an army. If they were going to prepare for war, they would need an army. At this time, they were separate militias. So they had part-time soldiers. So here, the militias were not enough because they were part-time soldiers. Now here, why did they want to create an army? Because they wanted full-time soldiers that knew how to fight in a war. Again, I'm giving you sentence starters. Why did they choose George Washington to be commander? Now, that was all in the second paragraph, you guys, that first one. So in paragraph 3, they chose George Washington to be commander-in-chief of the Continental Army because right here it talks about George Washington and why they wanted him. And it says it right here. He had experience from the French and Indian War, and he would understand the soldiers and how to fight this war. And then question, why did the Congress send the olive branch to the king? So in paragraph, I believe 4, the colonists, in paragraph 4, Congress sent the olive branch petition to the king to, what did they do? Oh, it's actually paragraph 5. They wanted to come to a peaceful agreement. And then here is your area to show me what you've learned. What was one effect? The Second Continental Congress. What was one effect? So according to the paragraph, what was it? An effect of the Second Continental Congress was. What was the effect? This is for you guys to figure out. I've helped you out with a few of them. I gave you a couple sentence starters. You need to go from there. Remember to rephrase your question within your answer. This is how you're going to get a 3. Now, remember, it's okay to make mistakes. We learn from them, and I love mistakes because I get better as a teacher, and you'll get better as a student. Just take them in stride, learn from them. Keep moving forward, and while you're moving forward, remember to smile, giggle, and wiggle, and have fun with it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.